Hi everyone, welcome to episode 2. In episode 1, we played through the demo kit. It was nice, I found it very promising. So now in this episode, we can finally create a stage. We're not gonna waste time by downloading assets and such because you already know how if you watch my previous series. So we're gonna use what's included in the kit so we can get right into making a stage right now. So I hope you enjoy it. So, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take the template scene and duplicate it, not duplicate it, but saving it as, just like we do in the 2D RPG kit, because we don't want to override it. Except here it's named template stage instead of template scene, big deal. So we go into scene, stages, we choose a regular stage because this is just a regular stage I'm making for now. I'm gonna name it Stage Laprune. Don't ask why. It's just that to differentiate it. I know 100% this is my stage. There will be no confusion with this name. So now that I've saved it as, we see the name of the Unity thing has changed to Stage Laprune. So we know that we can modify this without impunity. Just to show you guys what happens if we press play right now. The game is totally there thanks to everything that's inside the template stage. However, there is no floor between our feet, so the character is falling at an increasingly higher speed, I assume. So, So we need to put a floor behind him, under him, I mean. So that's gonna be done in the solid layer. There's a lot of layers, but it's not as bad. I mean, it's not as intricated as the 2D RPG kit, because 2D RPG kit was a top-down set of layers, so there was a lot of different like solid layers and stuff to make houses. But right here, this is a side scroller, so most of the visual effect is going to be done through background layer and parallax and whatnot. So don't worry, this is going to be easy peasy for the most of it. Now I look at this tile set like, wow, this is so beautiful. I'm terribly sorry. Our jump in the episode 1, I said, this tile map looks bad. But I was not talking about this one. I was talking about the purple one, the pink one. But even there, I'm sorry, the pink one looks nice. What I meant is this one. This one looks like what comes out of my cat when he's sick. It's why I said this is ugly. But that's okay. This one is so amazing. When you zoom on it, you see the details like, holy cow. No, this tile map is very pretty. Good job, honestly. Beautiful ground tiles. So now we see that the solid layer was enough for us to have a ground. And right there, we already, in 30 seconds, we have accomplished more than what would have taken weeks in PyCharm. So right now, I'm just gonna wait a second to see what he's doing. Oh yeah, I'm gonna make a vertical column for a wall, but then just to to avoid repeating not to stack piles of 3 blocks. I'm just making this like that, so it will look like one very high thing. This is a personal taste choice. Don't have to do that, but I just think it looks a bit better like this. But I'm gonna resume building the stage without caring too much about aesthetics, but then at the very end of the video I will fix a lot of the aesthetics, guys. What I mean by that is doing stuff like I did right now to fix how it looks vertically and stuff. So for the rest of the episode I will continue painting without caring too much, but then I will fix near the end, don't worry. Now that we have floor under our feet and we have a wall to the left to limit the stage, we must not forget that we have integrated boots that can climb on walls, so okay, we need to deal with this. We're gonna put spikes to put a natural border to the stage there. It could be an infinite pit, it could be whatever, but just now for the purpose of testing the spike layer, I'm putting there. I like to put these death block spikes in the first scene of the game, because this is my first scene of the game. This is my first stage. So right at the beginning of the stage, the player can experience them. He can see, do they in this game, do they remove a block of health? Do they just do something weird? Or do they kill me? So here he's going to be able to see, oh, they kill me one shot. So he's not going to be angry. This is the first screen of the game, and we're even gonna give him a life, so that if he chooses to test the spikes, he won't die. So now we see that by default, at least in the version that I am, which is a 3.30 F1, this is the version that I have because he patched the 2D RPG kit to 4.3 on it. So I just updated my entire thing to this, but I don't know if that's the proper version for his latest 2D platformer action kit. So really, I should have looked closer at what version he has, but otherwise in my version, the 30 F1, you need to manually go where French Me did just now, into the spike layer inspector, and then there is this thing that's behind my camera, but it's there. You click on it, objects to destroy, then you have a menu, and you want to select a player and enemy at least, or player at very least. So now we see it was a simple click to configure them. So now in this stage La Prune scene, the spike layer are configured forever and ever. It was just a simple menu. And now I'm looking at here like, what is this? Why is this just blocks? So I don't know, and when I don't know things, I just don't touch them. I will come back later after reading maybe the PDF that comes with the kit, because I have not even read that yet. I only watched his YouTube series. It was so good that I was like, you know what? Probably not even gonna need the PDF. But now I see this thing like, what is this? So yeah, maybe I will look at it before the next episode, just to see if I find important information on it that I should tell you guys. Otherwise, right now I'm making a pit collider. So I see that I was looking at where it is. It's stacked all on top of one another in the middle of the camera thing. So I was like, okay, let's modify the size. Then I saw it became red, so I understood, okay, so this is the resizable area that if a player touches, something happen. But right now, just like the spike layer thingy in my 30 F1 version, you need to manually, it's probably like that everywhere. I'm just trying to cover all possibilities. That if you guys, if you're like me, you need to manually choose the objects to destroy, and once it's configured, you can Control D and duplicate it as much as you want. Or you could configure the prefab in the folder right off the bat for it to already know to destroy what, and then you do what you do you. But me, I think it's fine this way. It gives it forces you to configure them, to think about them. So now I'm like, do I want the pickables to be destroyed? I mean, I probably won't, right? Let's say you shoot a bat or something and it drops a life or something. Do you want all the items to be loaded as they drop infinitely into the hole? I don't think that's a very optimal thing to load moving objects for no reason. I think it's a good thing that this includes something that destroys pickable items, because this way if you kill an enemy, it's just gonna eliminate it. Like, yeah, pest control. So I think this is fine. We're just gonna test it. I don't intend to leave that hole there, that pit there, but I just want to see, like, okay, it was as easy as it looked. You just click on Pit Collider, you put it where you want, you resize it, then you say, hey, destroy player and enemy and pickable, and there we have the duplicatable. My God, duplicable, multiplicable. A doppelganger. We have a cloning the machine. So now I see that once again this is maybe only in my 30 F1 version, but the background parallax by default is deactivated. I'm not 100% sure why, but it's not important. Simply click to activate it if it's the case. And now we see that in my version, like I said, it's probably not as how we say that. The main version, like a flagship version, because when you see his kit, his guides, in his guides he only has like 2 layers in the background and layer 2, but me, this version, I have 6. So I imagine he did some testing in the 30th one, and it's why there's some duplicate background layers and it was deactivated. It's just very small details that are version related. We recently really understood firsthand how Unity deals with the versions, that it needs to be exactly the same one, and so it's just small details that I'm understanding as I see the difference between my kit and the kit on his version, which is a very small configuration thing, like deactivating background and small things like that. And it's all covered in this guide, so don't worry. So now I look at the ladder layer. I was like, is it as easy as that? But then I notice, like, wait a second, what happens if I paint a block in the ladder layer? I'm like, okay, no, it does not register. So there's a missing component to deal with the rigid body or to deal with the capsule collider of the player or anything to that effect. But now I'm gonna just investigate a bit because I'm a curious man and I like to understand things, and we will understand this very quickly. So we see right now I'm trying to understand the difference between the two. And now I'm gonna just zoom to see. Now I realize there is a green rectangle. So I'm like, oh my god, this is what interacts with the capsule of the player. So now I got an epiphany. I understand that the body is simulated in order that in the code the interaction can be detected. But now I'm like, okay, so I got ladder layer detected. What if I paint something normal? The green stuff don't appear. Okay, what if I paint this? Oh, if you paint the ladder, Artjom made it that the thing are integrated in the tile map. I really have no idea how to do such a thing, how to integrate component into a piece of the tile map, but he's a lot better than me at Unity, obviously, since he's the person creating kits and I'm just a person using them. But I think it's very cool that we are able to do this. I don't know how he did, but it's very cool. But that also means that if you want to use like Spider-Man techniques, you would have to reskin. You would have to use the actual ladder with the implemented component in it, and reskin it, or just take a few minutes and ask GPT or whatnot. How do I integrate like he did the thing, or just ask him on Discord. He'd probably tell. He's a very nice person. I should know stuff like that, but I don't, because I'm not new, but I have less than 1 year at experience in Unity, and yeah. So I have not yet implemented mechanics into a tile map. I did not even know it was a thing, but I'm very pleased to see that we are in good hands, and that Bossman, Big Brain Boy, he knows how to do those things, and they're part of the kit. So now I'm just making the map a bit bigger, because the pit, I'm gonna move it there. I'm gonna want some breakable blocks, right? I'm gonna want some enemies, some obstacles. I like to put some holes like this because the jumping enemies they fit well into holes. I played through the demo of the 2D platformer action kit. I always mess the name. I liked his Artjom's placement of the jumping enemies. They were like into the small holes. I thought it was pretty good placement. So I'm just gonna put a few holes on top, but they're not as tight as his hole. No pun intended. Because they're a bit too wide. They're like 3 square large. But whatever, it's not important. I'm just trying to find something to say while he's painting. But there's not going to be that much painting in this episode, but I just did not want to like, okay guys, watch me paint for half an hour with no sound. No, so I'm just talking a lot as I paint in French, and that's life. This episode is very long. In my head, I thought this episode would be a lot shorter, and my first iteration of this episode was like 48 minutes or something. I was like, "Oh, that is so good," but then because I filmed this in advance, time passed, and like 2 days later, I'm like, you know what? I'm not that happy with the episode because in the episode, I did a few mistakes with parallax and stuff, and then I was using time to correct my own mistakes, and then looking back at the episodes, like, you know what, this episode has like a good 15 minutes that is not necessary of me making mistakes and correcting them. Let's remake the episode, skipping the mistake. So I did, but I got so far into the episode that the episode ended up being like almost 1 hour 40 minutes. So I'm sorry, the episode now has no mistakes, but on the other hand, I made it a lot further in the episode before wanting a break. So this episode is very long. So now I put a life onto the wall because I want, like I said, if the guy loses a life to test the nails, I want him to at least get something. But now I'm looking because I want to put a sword, and there are multiple folders. You need to be important not to like just take a sprite and drag it there. No, you need to go into this prefabs pickups. Pickups as in if the player touches that, it will make a sound effect and it will appear in your inventory. Basically, you will be able to cycle to that weapon using Q or E on your keyboard, assuming you're on a QWERTY keyboard. Honestly, yeah, the developer is European, so I assume he has a AZERTY keyboard, but me, I'm North America, like probably most, but not most, half of you guys, because my audience is like half France, half North America, which is Canada and United States. So like my audience is half French, half English. Yeah. Which is perfect because I'm a Canadian, which means I'm born French. There's nothing to do in French, so we all learn English because TV and video games are in English, and then we all end up bilingual. And then the school system think, oh, you're bilingual because we taught you French and English. No, I learned English from watching Star Trek and Three's Company, and listening to and reading lyrics from heavy metal. That's why I got a bad English, because I learned from watching a sitcom, but I also learned from watching a science show. So I got a decent mix, I think. A few humor words, enough to entertain you, and a few science words, enough not to look stupid. So now I took this block, which is not the which is the the breakable block, and I'm gonna break it. But I open a parenthesis to say, in this game, the red sword is the pimp sword, is the strong sword, is the one that breaks obstacles. But that's a game decision for his kit, because it was structured in a six stage system, and you were getting the red sword. I don't remember by which stage. Maybe it was by stage 5 or something. But we get the blue sword in the first screen of the game. So I want this sword to be weak, not weak as in it's less, but I don't want it to have an infinite energy source. Just inspired a bit by the concept of, Breath of the Wild, where you keep having a duration on your weapon until you get a very good weapon that you can finally stick with it. Well, I want this base sword, because I gave it in the first scene, right? I want it to have an energy counter, so let's say 35 charges. But so you need to uncheck the infinite weapon energy. So I put it to 35 charge, and I put on it that it will destroy obstacles. So this way, we already have a way. We don't have to wait further stages to unlock game dev elements such as breaking blocks. This is something that should be done off the bat. Right now, I'm noticing, gravity affects lives. So we're gonna fix that very shortly. So now I'm just trying not to kill myself. There it is. So we see 35 duration. I hit, it lost 1 duration. This is perfect for me, because when we kill enemies, they will drop energy pellet. It's up to us to switch to our sword and put the pills in it, the pills, the batteries in it. It will do it automatically, I'm just saying. I like the whole plating of the saber having a duration and stuff, and it being able to break blocks. You can still make a stronger block that only the red can break, but I want right away to be able to break blocks. It's such a fun part of video game to break stuff, so I want it right away. We need to enable the fun in the first frames of the game and not make people work for fun. So now I put the life on kinetic instead of dynamic, because when it's dynamic, the first frame of the game, it will fall into the gravity laws. So bam, on the floor, since this is programmed well, it recognizes the floor and it will stop there. But yeah, if you put it on kinetic, it's gonna wait for something to tell it to do something, but nothing is telling it to do anything. It's gonna stay there. And if you put it on a static, then nothing is gonna affect it at all. I'm not even sure if you're gonna be able to loot it. Probably because it's still on trigger pickable, but whatever. So if you don't want the gravity to fall, you put it on kinetic, kinematic. I thought it was kinetic, but it's kinematic. I thought it was the same word. I read too fast. I don't even know what kinematic means. But kine is energy, right? Matic, no clue. So, sorry. sorry. So I'm gonna put the blocks here because I want the people, if they have the guts or the whatever, the curiosity to go down the hole to explore, I want them to find a secret section that they can do a physical prowess to jump slash and go take the energy tank or whatever I'm gonna put there. So I'm just duplicating the configured block by modifying the Y of the duplicate by -1. This way I don't have to bother realigning too much. It's already aligned. Sorry. Oh yeah. Now I put the health tank there. I got a texto from my wife. It's something important. I must put this on pause for a few minutes. Back. Sorry about that. A kid has attention deficit sometimes in the school. They're like, why is he so happy today? Like, are you kidding me? This is why the school is complaining, because he's talking too much. Your kid is talking too much. He's too happy. Like, seriously, you bother me to tell me my kid is too happy? What is wrong with the school system? Whatever. Let's keep on with the episode. You know, it's something wrong in Canada with the teachers. Yeah. Like, why would you possibly call the parents to tell them your son is too happy? He's speaking and he's so joyful. Why is he so happy? I just don't know what to say to this. This is so stupid. Let's go back to intelligent stuff, please. Our IQ goes down every time we try to understand the government here in Canada. It's just incredible. So here you see the turret. The turret is has a detector, a green thing. Every time you step on it, it's gonna turn red and it's gonna detect the player and shoot at him. So this is very weird. Not very weird. I was thinking about the school stuff again. This is very awesome. I mean, so I'm gonna separate the game from the scene thing so you can see both. So you see the gravity made it fail because I didn't place it on the ground properly. So that's good thing to know. Objects don't break when dropped. So we can later on make enemies dropping and don't feel bad for the engineers. So yeah, so it's very nice that it detects the player. And what is also nice, let's get back to the kid, we can replace, it's all customizable. Artyom made this in a very modular, expandable way. It's a self-explanatory, as in you don't have to take my word for it. You just have to look the inspector in this video. There are multiple slots in the hierarchy. There are multiple things, but there are also multiple slots in the inspectors for all of that jazz. So you can like weapon data. If I wanted to, I could put like a freeze weapon, or if it existed, I could put a flamethrower, or you can put the weapons that you want in there. then all of the rest, it's a lot of components. It's not necessary on a first day of usage to understand what every single component does, but I like to have just a grasp of it. So like I see this obstacle detector here, and right now after the fact I'm like, okay, I think this is something that's meant for the moving monsters mostly, because when they see a wall they will pause, flip their axis, and go the other direction. You know, basically like we did the NPC patrol into the RPG kit, where we make them patrol. So yeah, but since this is a static turret, they still have all the components because it's built modularly. You know, it's like enemy actor, player actor. They all use the same weapons and stuff. Um, it's cool. I think it's cool at least. And then you see the monster, like attack behavior, patrol behavior. You can override. I mean, you can put someone else's brain in it. You can. We will not try every single option in this episode, but I think it's very cool. The possibilities they seem very nice. For now, there is only like 5 or 6 weapons. I say only just because I want you to understand that you can make as many as you want. Once you figure out, like, oh, how do I reskin one? Probably the same way in the 2D RPG kit that you create a new skill, but probably a bit more intricate, as in a little bit more places where you need to link stuff together. So it's more modular than the 2D RPG kit. So I'm not worried when we get to creating a weapon, we will manage something. I won't manage to make something graphically impressive because I'm not a visual artist, but I'm confident we will manage to create at least a variation of one of the weapons. So now I'm testing this. I see, okay, I'm gonna have to move the coins a bit just to avoid jumping. That's fine. I'm just seeing stuff. So our thing works, you know. It was not a big shocker. It was just a simple thing. But right now I'm just doing the stage by small increments because I don't want to lose whoever is watching chronologically. I want him to understand the stage as it progresses, so I explain every new thing. So now the pit that we made earlier and we tested, this is our first actual pit, so we're gonna put it there. I'm gonna make it a bit wider in case the guy is trying some mad speedrunning technique to try to go past a certain zone. There is nothing below the floor, so there would be no reason to do this. But I still just want to make a pit bigger than it needs to be, just to be sure to cover, to annoy the speedrunners. Like I said, there's nothing to speedrun in a pit. I'm just making jokes. So so this is all fine and dandy. Now I look at the monsters. I see the red one is the boss. Like I said, everything is skinnable and stuff, but I don't want the boss in the first part of the stage, so I'm just putting a regular guy. So I'm looking at this component, like, oh, shoot, patrol. That's when I noticed, like, it's the same than the turret. So, except he has a change direction, which is usually the green circle is the difference with the other turret. So this one is active on him because he has legs. On the turret has no legs, so it's inactive by default. But since this one has legs, he has the mechanics in place. And me, at this point, I don't know, like, okay, he will detect solid layer. Will he detect something else? Will he detect a switchable layer, you know, the one-way platform? Will he detect the pits? And turns out they detect all of those things. But let's go chronologically. Right now, we just see him. Okay. He comes fully equipped with a gun. He comes with intent to punish us. He is not dumb, as in he don't follow blindly or XY location. Otherwise, he would have been stuck in the left wall, you know. So he just continues his pattern, and his behavior is affected by if you touch his green detector thing. So basically, I'm honestly impressed of the simplicity, but how well it works, the AI, and I can't wait to master all the UI slots we see there to swap weapons and stuff. So now I'm just saying you can reskin, even though there is only a certain amount of monsters right now. You know, the jumping thing, there's the drone ship, the boss, the smaller mech, the patrolling turret, and the static turret. You can reskin them 10 versions of each. Everyone do this in video game. Even old games like Double Dragon. How many mob archetypes are there? Well, there's the grabbing mob, the punching one, the kicking one, the knife throwing one. Then there's the big abobos. So it's the same thing. You know, you have enough here to make a game. But if you want to go nuts, you can add as many as you want. So now I'm moving on to the one-way platforms because I want to have like this checklist of what's new in a 2D platformer side-scroller thing that we have not seen in a 2D RPG kit. And so that's one of the things, because there is jumping in this game. So these are platforms that allow you to jump on them, but you cannot go down, or you can, but you need to actively try to. You're not gonna fall through if you stand still. So I'm just gonna say, you know, in a lot of these types of game, there's like, let's say Metroid, there's Samus ship right there, so you land on this planet, and you're like, why did I land on this planet? Was there a Maverick? Was there a Metroid? Was there a mineral? Was it dilithium? So yeah, basically, I want us to have this feeling of we landed on this planet, because I just do. So now I'm testing the stairs that I've created for myself, and I notice, I do not jump high enough. I need to fix my jumping height. No. I mean, I need to lower the platform. We're not gonna modify the entire character to accommodate the first jump of the game. No, I'm gonna lower. I took these ones because they look like Kaizo blocks. I'm like, these look so Kaizo blocky. Because I just want to make you understand that this is like your service ladder to go back to your spaceship. It's not even something that you could see. You could just you could make the blocks completely invisible and put a visual effect of a tractor beam or something, and then when you reach the spite of your ship, you could put a teleport leading back to the title menu or to the shop or whatever you want to do. I'm gonna add the spray. I know the episode said only using included assets, and that is true. However, I did add a ship picture because I was like, I want to finish this idea so that you guys understand what the heck am I doing. You will understand better if I put the picture. So I just went on Google, DALL-E, make a spaceship, I don't care, make it symmetric at least. So then he gave me a picture, and I'll just put it in there just to show you guys how it would look with a spaceship, and I think it's very cool. So now that our Kaizo blocks, they work. I say Kaizo because they're kind of transparent, but that's intended. Now I'm speaking about, the disappearing blocks in the original Mega Man games. They do, they disappear and they appear, and they're so hard most of the time to. Some sections are very, very hard. So now I'm thinking, how would we program that? And I'm like, it would be so easy, It would be so easy that I don't even need to think about it. You could just ask GPT, make me the blocks from Mega Man, and it will do them. Otherwise, you would want to create a set of coordinates. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you create an object that the player can walk on it, and you just make the object appear and disappear between the locations, So you can make a simple script to do that. But then I'm like, I hate these disappearing blocks so much. Why did I even talk about them? I hope that I did not inspire anyone to make those disappearing blocks, because I hate them and I don't want to see them. or I don't want to see them more than once per game. Every Mega Man game should or could have one section of disappearing block, and it must not be so long and tedious and hard and painful and put you into depression and end up on the street corner with a cop asking for change money because disappearing block and Mega Man destroyed your life. I'm making humor, guys. So now we're gonna move to the background layer. This is a layer that you cannot interact with, and it is one of my pet peeves. In the previous episode, I said, oh, look at these fake backgrounds. They're like taunting you. Oh, you want to step on me, huh? You want to step on me, but you can't. They're just there to tease you. And that makes me angry. So I want at least the very top of them to be interactable, you know? But then I'm gonna very soon... because I'm showing you I'm just speaking as I do it in French, but this is not the final version. You will see I will use the one-way platforms instead. So this way we're like in a Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo, you know. You start the stage, it's like the ground, then there's this little hill things, then there's like moles coming out of it, then there's a little grass, then there's the monsters with the cape that are running on it to take off. And so you have this layering going on, and you can interact with it, you can jump on the little things. I think it's the best way to use this thing. It's better than to put them and not to put something that you can step on them, because I'm OCD. I'm obsessive compulsive, and when I see stuff like this should be walkable, but it's not, my brain goes nuts. It goes like, why? We must fix this, and if it's not fixable, we must destroy ourselves. I'm joking. So now I put a one-way platform, like I said, which will allow me to interact with this background. So it gives a sense of 3D, I guess, because now you can vertically change layer. It would not make sense in a 2D world, so it has to be 3D, guys. Otherwise, in a 2D world, you would not be able to jump over a one-way platform. The way that one-way platform are to simulate, are to put a bit of realism of 3D into your 2D game, because it's more realistic this way than if it was pure 2D. That you cannot jump because there is only one dimension. It's 2D. You have no thickness. No, you have thickness. You have legs. Their legs are round. No. We can and should have freedom within the 2 dimensions. Like let's call this 2.5D, even though that's not the proper term. So now that this is better, we will be able to use that same principle all over. I say all over, I exaggerate a bit. Let's not do this all over, but you can do this all over, especially if you do an underground level. Underground level will have a background stuff like that all over the place. Maybe not unicolor like that. Maybe you will reskin some types of rocks or whatever. Or maybe you will keep that because they look so good. I mean, honestly, especially if you zoom. When you zoom, they look so good. French Me just took a small pause. But now we're going to continue, because we have established the base, right? We've dealt with most of the layers, the pits. Now we need to continue this thing. So I'm hydrating myself a little bit. And now I'm just looking. Oh yeah, right, the ship. So that's what I said. I asked GPT, make a symmetric spaceship seen from the front. Now I tried the tool to remove all the black, but the picture is not appropriate for. So we need to manually take the eraser. Normally, when I do this, I would literally take hours. I would zoom in, I would clean pixels one by one, but I'm not gonna do this. This is just to show you how would the game look if we had a spaceship in our beginning stage. Well, we don't have to wonder. We just have to grab a picture. You can draw it yourself. You can go on Google, pick the first picture that you want. Who cares? Then I just asked GPT, because then at least you know it's not copyrighted. I'm not gonna get in trouble to use this picture. Nobody will get in trouble, but I mean, if I wanted to release this Mega Man game, I could do it with this picture. As in, while if you go on Google and take the first picture that you see, and then, oh, I want to share my game, okay, you might want to replace the picture with, it's just how life works. So I just use GPT when I want a placeholder image like this, like, oh, how would it look with a spaceship? Honestly, I'm never gonna find an artist that will draw this good, and if I do, it's gonna cost me so many hundreds of dollars, which is more than I ever make with this YouTube series. So you need to understand why you need, as an indie dev, to use AI placeholder art, AI concept art. You cannot bother an artist with all you that's trying to get a product, like, oh, draw this, change this. The artist will not stick around for free while you discover what you want. You discover what you want with stupid AI. And then, when you know what you want, you contact an artist if your project is that great. So I just save it as a PNG, otherwise it will not be transparent, okay? This is just small technical details. Like I said, I very, very much butchered this sprite. It's not important. This is not... just imagine that I took 2 hours to do this and that it's in painful detail, super pretty, and that you can zoom. I don't care. This is just to show you guys, look, you take the picture, you put it there, and ta-da! We have a ship in the game. It was that simple, guys. Big quality of life improvement. Of course, you would animate your own fire. You would not use a static image of a burning fire. Like I said, this is just to give. It's just a concept placeholder. So now, if we go look at our thing, we'll see. Oh, where do we come from? We could put a light pillar or something. Like, oh, we come from mothership. Though nothing prevents us right there to put a teleport. Of course, this game does not. A teleport. You could put a teleport, but I mean not a teleport in a 2D RPG kit way. Those are not included, I think. But so we would need to create one. Very simple. Honestly, you can just copy paste the code, teleport to, teleport from the other kit. I'm just not gonna share it because I don't know if I can or should. But you guys, if you have both kit, just take the teleport from the other kit, copy paste it in this one. If you don't know how to make it otherwise, because it's simple, you just create a script and you say teleport from there to there. We just ask GPT, honestly. It's so low level coding to ask a simple point A to point B that even the lowest intelligence model will give you good code. So now I'm thinking about the sky. I'm going to do a lot of placeholder things here, guys, because this is not going to look like this in the very end. I'm thinking about the structure of the environment. I'm thinking like, okay, you're gonna land here. Let's say this is a jungle or whatever, or you're next to a cavern or wherever. You clearly have not landed on a building or in the Central Park. No, you're not there. You're a bit on the side. Then you're a bit in nature, I mean. We landed there. Then it's gonna go down like southeast, but not really southeast, but gonna go down and right. As in we go lower into the earth crust. It's not really earth or whatever. So now I'm saying, I will want to have like the geography of the place to continue upward, but I don't want it to be accessible. So we will want like, there is stuff that way, but you shouldn't go there. It's going to be full of spikes and stuff. And then we will continue building bottom right as we dig deeper into the stage. But I'm just saying, I had this. I just took this as a placeholder. It will not look like this in the end, and it would not. If I was to make a serious game, I would take. It could be another spaceship right there. It could be the appearance of another spaceship that's there. Not even have to be solid. It can just be there to show like, and you can put mobs on it. The small patrolling drones. You can put a lot of small patrolling drones that will be like, we're patrolling around mothership. So, but for now, I'm just look. It's not important. I just want right off the bat on the first playthrough, I want the player to be like, okay, I cannot go there. The player does not have shield right now. Maybe later, I tried that damage boosting. You cannot make it pass like halfway if you time it on the drone. So without having the shield weapon, the player will never be able to go that direction. And that opens up a whole other thing, because in Mega Man, a lot of the stages, you need to come back after you get a certain weapon, and then you can access that secret new weapon or that secret memory tank or whatever. So right now, this is the first stage. The player lands, he only has his basic weapon, then he grabs the sword on the left. He has no shield. So it's only when he visits back this stage after getting the shield that he will have the possibility to use the shield charges to go over the spike stage to see if there is something secret. And by that time, we will have redesigned the appearance of that place to look better, than to have different content, because right now I want placeholder big block of solid matter. On that, I'm gonna put a lot of spikes, like don't go there. But later, when our player will have the shield, we will revisit that scene and be like, okay, this should be reskin another way. Now maybe that since the player can go, we can add monsters there, and we can add a new weapon, and we can add a new path or a new boss or whatever. But for now, in the first playthrough, this part of the stage will be inaccessible. You need to think. I'm thinking a lot in Mega Man terms, because this is obviously the closest relative of the kit. Otherwise, in a Metroidvania in general, you will want to have areas that you will come back to later. So in this game, what that could mean? Well, it could have been the destroyable walls. Could have been, later when I get the head sword, I'll be back and I'll be able to open all the walls in the first stage. Yeah, it could be that, but not me. I put the sword right at the beginning. However, all the areas with the spikes like this, there's nothing you can do without having the shield. Yeah. It's up to you to think like, do I want to create a special technique that the speedrunners will be able to use to get past this area without the shield? Man, I think we're thinking too hard for a demo project. For a real game, yes, I would absolutely think about stuff like that. But for now, just a big, ugly square of spikes, that means you cannot go there. But you definitely should consider coming back when you discover what the shield do. So I'm just placing things for later, So I say don't judge the present appearance. It will change as the episode progress, and as the episode progress, and we will revisit and reskin more. So now I'm continuing to develop the background layer thing, because I just had placed a small one to test the concept. I was very happy with it. So now I'm adding more. However, don't put 2 blocks in height. The third block is too higher. You must not have switchable, one-way platform that is 2 blocks high. So I will remove the little block later. I'm just telling you guys in advance. Otherwise, strange behavior can happen, because you have two steps, one next to another, and we don't want the player to stand in the middle. So now I'm looking at the enemies and like, oops, this is a scriptable. That's to configure them. What I want is the enemy prefab thing, so right there. So here I'm gonna use this turret because it's patrolling. So what I want is 2 things. Can the enemy stand on this one-way platform? Also, will this enemy detector that's activated, since it has legs or wheels, will it detect those little switchable layer blocks? So now I'm looking, and wow, it does. It doesn't matter that it's not solid, that it's I always butcher the name, one-way platform. The AI of the kit works just fine with this configuration. It recognizes it as something that you should stop and turn. So yeah, honestly, it's incredibly simple. It's the first time I use this kit, and I seem to succeed with almost everything that I tried the first time. That's a very good sign, guys. That's a very good sign that the kit is ready for prime time. I know that we did see a little movement thing, but honestly, it will be fixed shortly. The developer told me his time frame is very realistic, and it will be fixed very shortly, guys. So now I'm going to the right, and I'm gonna put some more because I want to. I just want to put like overing a drone in me that will float there, just to see like, oh, there is something there, but it looks kind of advanced. You're not supposed to. Well, that's bullshit. You're supposed to do what you want, but usually you don't have the drone type enemies in the first screen of the game. But who cares? That's why I'm gonna put it there, just so that you see, oh, there's some advanced monsters there, but there's nothing. It's only spikes and stuff. But it's just when you finish the game, or not when you finish the game, but when you're much further than, oh, now that I know that I got a shield and the shield works with spikes, let's visit back all stages, and that's when we will continue design all this part of the stage, because our first visit of the stage is to go down into the earth and to the cavern. So yeah, like I said, I'm sure we will reskin. I just copy paste blocks all over the place for now because it's easier. Because if you do finishing right now and then you change your mind, you just wasted a lot of time. So you always do the visual finishing last. So French me is pretty much finishing to say what I've said already a billion times. Sorry. I still got a cold. Usually cold lasts maybe a week, but this one lasts like twice longer because I'm weak because I had the operation 8 days ago, last Monday from next week. So my immune system and everything is super weak, and it has to deal with all the open whatever that was open during the surgery. So a lot of white cells and whatnot. So my cold is not healing at all because all my healing resources, all my white cells are busy with the region of the operation. It's just how it is. Everything is worse right now. Like my pain in my mouth, I mean the teeth. Everything hurts more because all my immune system is busy with vital organs. So yeah, I won't go into details, but I'm a very champ to continue these guides in this condition. And I hope that you enjoy, because I certainly do. It brings me joy to play around the Mega Man theme thing before going back to Fire and Realms. So now I look, there is a patrol path, like, oh, this is what it is. The flying thing at the bottom is the path. So just like in Mario Maker, when you put a path and then you put a seesaw or whatever on it, and it's gonna stick on it. Well, since we are in Unity and not in Mario Maker, Nintendo has not graciously did this for us, so we need to manually do it. So we take the flying path and we drag and drop it into the patrol path. So now we have effectually did the same than it would have been in Mario Maker, to put the chain, the saw, the circular saw on or whatever on a rail. My vocabulary is probably horrible because my Mario Maker is in French, honestly, because my kid is the one that plays it the most, and his Switch is in French. So I'm guesstimating the names of the stuff in English. So yeah, I'm just gonna waste a bit more time to make this kind of go northeast. But I'm just it's not important, guys. This is very not important. I'm just I'm just putting place stuff there, so I know that later, oh yeah, I wanted to do something that go not upright, but only when you have the shield later. This what I'm doing right now. Don't do this. It's like on the other side. French me has not yet discovered it, but you do not want to have 2 layers of one-way platform. I mean 2 levels. because now our feet will walk somewhere that it should not. So you only want one block of thickness of the one-way platform. So we will correct that as soon as he notices. Like you see right there, that's what I mean. If you put two times the switchable layer, the behavior becomes not as intended. I mean, it's fine, but unless you want a special section that has this weird feel, I recommend just putting one. We see the drone chip in all his glory with his vertical player detector. So when you're in the green in front of him, he detects you when he shoots. So the only problem I have is the fact that I need to trim those double thingies because they make hamburgers, and the hamburgers are not good. Yes, I don't have dementia. I did hamburger on purpose because when there's two things on top of one another, for some reason I call them hamburgers. I think it's just because I'm hungry. It's now almost the hour that my favorite restaurant opens, and I might just go eat a small hamburger. Yeah, let's get as much of this before. So now I corrected this, right? See, my head is bumping because it's a solid layer. Oh yeah, but don't do this. Spoiler alert. Because it is a solid layer, you can do wall slide on the side, and I don't like this. So I will put it back to a switchable layer in time. But for now, French me is like, oh, there's a... I fall in the hole right there. But only if I do a certain specific maneuver. And I'm like, that is so weird. I think it's because there is a small hole between the tiles, but like microscopic to the human eye. But it's not important. It does not do it on the left side. It's just here. But this is because of the solid layer. This is what you see right here, the slide. This happens because I put this on solid layer. So since it's a solid layer and not a one-way platform, it has the mechanics of a wall. And I do not want that because then you slide down the wall. And as you slide down the wall, you're no longer visually touching the wall with your feet, but your body, your hand still is. So you stay in the wall slide. So visually, I'm gonna remove the solid layer there. I'm gonna put it back to just switchable layer. It's fine. So basically, sorry to have wasted a bit of time showing you what not to do. So don't put two thickness of one-way platform. And I don't recommend putting solid layer because then you will slide on it. So just keep using the one-way platform. This is absolutely fine, guys. This is absolutely fine. So now that this works, that I removed the problem that I created for myself by being lazy and copying too many layers at once, we can keep on. So I'm gonna put this turret. Wait, I don't remember doing that. Oh yeah, okay, it's just that I stopped going that way after. So okay, and this guy will jump, he will end up on the second layer, I think, on the second floor, I think. I put some currency, who cares? Once again, sorry if this episode is long, but it's life, because the more time that we spend in this episode, and the less time we will have to waste in the next episode. So basically, what I'm doing now is gonna save us time later when we get to continue developing the part that's not in the cave. I just like to drop ideas in the scene while they're fresh in my head, and then I can just forget them, continue developing the stage, and I will be happy to have started the work for the revisiting of the stage later. It will not be such a chore. So now I'm trying to figure where will I put the next drone ship, because I put one to say like, I don't want you to go up there yet because there is something important there that deserves to have put patrolling drones there. But now I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna put it next to the ladder because currently we cannot shoot while we're on a ladder, so I'm not gonna put monsters next to a ladder. It's not cool. So we're gonna put it there. So now I clicked a bit too fast. I'm breaking the entire interface. So now I'm just putting back where it was. Now we see the patrol path. We need to put the flying thing that we put there, just like for the other one. So flying path 1, bam. Now they are linked together. The hovering monster will patrol on this rail. It's so easy to set up, honestly. I'm happy that it's so easy to imagine if this was not easy. How long would the episode be if this was not that easy to set up? So now I'm gonna just continue building some solid blocks because now we don't have ground under our feet, right? So we need to continue pushing this level. So I'm gonna let him paint a little bit. Because I don't want to repeat myself too much. I feel like I've repeated myself way too much. But that's only a thing in the English episodes. In French, I do not repeat myself because I speak in real time. But in English, there is this thing where, he's talking about stuff that I've covered a million times. But whatever. Here we're gonna have an entrance to a deeper cavern. And then, like I said, it's gonna be a bit confusing because I'm gonna paint stuff, placeholder stuff that we're gonna revisit later. Basically, everything that's on the surface of this mountain that we're not gonna go to right now is gonna be revisited later. We're just gonna focus on the interior of the mountain because that's where the player will be forced into for now. So I make the what can serve as a cavern that will have the boss in it for now, the first, or for now at least. We can put him further in the stage if we decide to so, but as of this moment the stage was so long, I'm not even thinking about the possibility of making the stage bigger, just for the fact that time is a real thing, and yeah. Time is a very consuming thing, and I don't want to take all of your time. So just imagine that the stage is a lot longer, you know. Otherwise, I can make more and more and more episodes, but yeah, let's try to do this fast. This is about how to use the kit. It's not about let's make a stage for posterity, a stage that will be remembered by our grandmothers. No, let's not be silly. That's what you guys will do after you make a stage for posterity, and I will make on my own time a stage for posterity. But right now I need to just make the stage and go back to Feline Realms. So now, like I said, I'm just doing like an overworld that's completely, you're not supposed to go there for now. We'll make this prettier later. It's not important. Yeah, I know it looks like crap, but trust me, this is just placeholder environment. I'm placing walls right now. I'm basically saying, okay, player will be stopped there. We will reskin this into a proper wall later. There will be the surface of the earth controlling that direction. Player will not be able to go there, but inside the cave we need to build. Because at the end of the day, the player will not visually see a lot of what we see right now. We're like gods right now. We're outside of the dimensions of the world. We see the world in a way that the player will never see it. The player will always only see a camera and nothing more than what's inside the frame of the camera. So the camera has to physically make it on the top there to see what's there. Yeah. So it's kind of small, but we're pretty zoomed out right now. So it's not that small, guys. And I forgot to make an entrance, but I'll fix that very shortly, don't worry. Also, we will redraw things better. Not redraw, but repaint. So I'm duplicating the pits because they're properly configured. However, if the guy visits back the stage and he has a shield, like, oh, so my whole plan to put spikes to prevent people from going there will look silly if he comes back with a shield. So that's where our friend the pit collider comes in to accommodate the fact that the shield prevents the spike from killing you. So now, even if the guy comes back with the shield, he will still not go out of bounds because there are pits killing him if he goes out of bounds of the stage. You can only go out of bounds in the bottom direction because there is gravity in this universe, this side scroller. So you see, he will come back later. He will be able to dump down and beat the boss to exit the stage. So we're gonna put a new weapon or something on top. Usually that's what they do in Mega Man. You come back in a stage, you got access to the top layer or whatever because you got certain item, but then you want to be put back towards that stage. So French Me took another break. I'm starting to be jealous because I'm very dry mouth right now. He keeps taking breaks. So now we're up to the parallax layer. I will make small mistakes here because I wanted like I said, in the Artyom's guide he only has 2 background layers, but this one has 6. So this version 30F1, he did some testing with it. So we don't actually need all 6 of those layers, but I'm gonna try. I'm just curious. What happens if I put the parallax on the wrong layer? So I'm gonna do a conscious effort to put it not on the one at the proper height, but I'm gonna put it at the one that's floating up in the air because I'm just curious. But we will not get to see it at all because of the way this works. We only need to use the background that it's on the same vertical height as our player, if you will. So I looked at his guide because I have no experience in the side-scroller usage of parallax, and it's funny. In his guide, he selects both the layers like this with shift. You select both, and then you drag the thing. So I did like him because it's the proper way to do things. So now I see, so it puts the image on 2 frames, so that's cool. However, I put them in the sky. So I just wanted to test and get this out of the way. So yeah, you cannot make it like, let's go higher and higher, we will see the other parallax like in the distance. No, it just keeps going up. It's apparently attached to the camera, like everything, or attached to the player rather. The player has the camera attached, and it's all the same at the end of the day. So I'm like, okay, the layers that are floating. Sorry. The layers that are floating up in the air like this, we're not gonna use them for this base parallax. We're just gonna use the floor ones. But then I just put the first image in there. That's not what you want to do. That's the lazy mode. Lazy as in we only use the back. So now you see there's a image in the back. It's kind of a bit too far, but it's still a lot better than not having a background, but it's not perfect. So the way to use this is the sprites are split. So you see the first image has all the image contained in it, and then you see the second image in a folder. You will click it very soon and you will see the names. So yeah, so the second image is like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. So you're supposed to use separate images, okay? So right now I'm gonna be like, okay, you know what? Screw the forest. We're gonna go with the city because the color just fits better with the floor, and the fact that we just landed on a planet, but the city is far away. I want us to feel like in nature. So right now I'm just fixing the fact that I forgot to make a hole here because. Sorry, I keep yawning. That's not intended at all. Very sorry. Probably the medication, anti-pain medication, is making me sleepy. So then, now that I fixed this little hole, I'm just gonna put the boss there right now, even though I'm not done fixing the parallax, just because I just fixed the hole there and I don't want to forget that I wanted the boss there. But I do will take a small break now because the French me will to look at Arjam's guide to see how to configure the bus. So yeah, right now he did the pause, so I'm gonna do the same. So back. So I want to see his guide because I did not want to make mistakes. So you see the bus trigger. When the player touches the bus trigger, it's gonna start what's a bus battle, which means the health bar of the bus is going to appear on screen. And I assume the music will change and all that. So now I'm like, okay, so I want the bus battle to start as you open the door, right? I mean, sadly, we don't have a door that does tiki 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 and opens, but we can do that in the later episodes. Probably will. But so now I'm just putting the thing there, like, oh, so if he falls off the top or if he goes from the left, he will enter the bus battle. However, my thing was a bit too high vertically, and our feet, as you see, they could touch from the exterior. So I will fix it by a centimeter later. Otherwise, this way we will now enter the boss room, the boss fight from either entrance of this cavern. So what we need to do after that, for it to finish the stage, we go on actor died of the boss, and then we add another trigger. We drag and drop the scene manager in it, and we go select scene manager dot level over. So when we beat the boss dies, it will load the scene title screen, no whatever, the screen in which you stage select. But it will not do it automatically because we need to enter this new stage prune into the title screen, to the stage select, I mean. So, but I just wanted to do this in advance, so now the bus is properly configured. We will just have to configure the other end on the stage screen. And Arjam already made a guide, so next episode or whatever, there will be no mistake. I will just follow his guide and very easily add our stage to the screen, and we'll be able to test it in a normal way. Which means not through Unity Editor like this, but to go through the title screen and do new game, and then we will see our stage. So now, where was I? Oh yeah, I see there's a problem here because I just put the background of the cave, but I put them on layer 2. So now I realize, okay, so the layers that are on top where I put the city, those are the ones that you actually see the back. And then those things, layer 1, 2, those are what you go into the front. So this is where what I was saying earlier. If you look at the sprites and the folder, the first one is a full picture that has everything in it. And then the other ones is a cave part 1, cave part 2, part 3, part 4. So right here, I'm going to remove the complete things because I just realized like, oh, so you need to use them separately to have a proper parallax. So I'm going to do that right now. So I reselect both layers that had the full city. And instead of the full city, I'm going to go take just pieces of the city and I'm going to use it properly now. So I'm not 100% sure how we would go around using every single layer. I think we would need to put them on top of one another and then manually, like order in layer -10, we'd have to make like -10, -9, -8, -7 and punch each one of them. But for now, we're just going to use 2 layers. So I grab, which is basically the city color. I put this as the back of the background layer 1. And then the background layer 2, I will put buildings. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure. This is the first time I do this, but it looks good enough. I think you would need to duplicate layer 1, 2, and create a layer 3, and then on layer 3 you would put other pieces of the city. If you want to put some in the foreground, I mean, I think this way it's fine. I like how this looks. I think it looks a bit better in Arjam's demo. Because Arjam is better at creating a 2D side-scroller because, he created a kit, right? He's a lot better than someone that never used Unity for a side-scroller. So, yeah. So this is my first usage. It's why my parallax is not as pretty as is. But hopefully by the last episode of this series, I will use more layers of parallax and it will look even better, even though this looks fine. So now I'm pretty much seeing like, okay, the bus detecting, this is where my feet will touch it, I think, because the bus sensor is a bit too high vertically. So right now my feet touch the thing that procked him. So you see the health bar of the bus appeared. Whoa, he's going so fast. But right now I have the sword with charges. And I notice, oh, this is not the red sword. The red sword was hurting him so much. But this is just a regular sword. And also we have a charge on the sword. So every time I attack at the wrong time because he's in the iframe, I'm using energy from my sword for no reason. So now we see what happens when the sword is 0 energy. It no longer causes damage. So me, I'm like, oh, cow. Now I understood why it was not doing damage, and this is all fine. But now we see that it loads the title screen, but you don't see it. But at the bottom of my screen, I got a red message that says scene cannot be loaded because yada yada yada. So yeah, so we need, like I said, into the stage selection to add the existence of this stage la prune. And we will do that later, just not now, because the episode is like way too long already. So now that we know how this all works, we see how we done. Parallax is fine. For the next stage, if the next stage is completely underground, which it will probably be, then we will not use the parallax of the city. We will use cavern. But for now, since this is the stage that you land with a spaceship, you get there, you discover like the universe. You see areas that you cannot go yet, but you will come back later. Basically, you're not even forced to make multiple stages. You could just make one stage and make it so big that it takes like an hour to reach the other end to get the shield and then come back. You guys can make entire Metroidvania games out of each of the 4 stages or the 6 stages. But we're gonna make regular stages now for now. But I'm just saying that you can make the stage as big as you want. It's just me for the purpose of the guide. I'm gonna go short. So right now I'm gonna make the pits look better, because there's a lot of things to make the stage look better. So I have to start somewhere, right? So I am gonna start with painting on the background layer, something that is not interactable with, but I want it to visually be like, oh, you're deep into something. Which happens to be a pit. So I want to reskin basically all my pits like this. So this is gonna literally take me like 10 minutes, guys. I'm gonna paint all of the pits. At first I wanted to make this on fast forward, but then my shortcut was acting stupid. It was not doing what I wanted. I was like, you know what? If you dislike painting, just skip ahead a few minutes. And I don't see the problem. The pattern to skip ahead exists. So I wish I could right now, but I can't. Damn. So I'm gonna paint all over the pits with this. Oh, it's almost time for my meal. I think I'm gonna start by slowly looking what I want to eat. I won't do that in case someone is hungry right now and he cannot eat because of X or Y reason. I'm not gonna talk about food. It's mean. So yeah, like I said, painting will be very long. I'm sorry about that, but it's life. Once it's all done, it's gonna look good though. It's very gonna look good. However, do know that this background layer, it hides the parallax, but it's a good thing, right? Because why would you want to see the city far away on the while you're in a pit? The pit should be dark and stuff, or if the pit was 3D, like it's the case, that it's a pit. Let's say this is a sewer hole or something. From the side view, it looks like a pit, but in reality, there's something there. And it's like a section that you should not, as a human, go down. This is clearly meant for flying drones or whatever. Maybe the drones, they come out of this vent. No. Like they launch from there maybe. Because in real life there are no pits. There's no like you walk, oh there's a pit. No, you can have a pothole, a sewer, but not a pit. So yeah, let's roleplay that this is from where the flying stuff come out. Which makes sense, really. If the stage is underground, they would need access ways to get out. So the pits that you see on the surface are actually access ways that are used by their things. It all makes sense. So now I'm just moving the currency a bit because I don't want to have the player make extra movement to get them. Just sliding on the wall is challenging enough. Not challenging, what I mean. I don't want you to start to go nuts with the wall jumping, especially if you play on a keyboard. They're going to hate me. So I just put them there. It's very easy to get now. But like I said, I will do all of the pits because when I do something, I do it consistently. So all of the pits and the cavern of the boss. Both. I will do both. Entire thing. What can I say during that time? Yeah. So. I will have a lot of things to do in the next episode. I think the next episode we will have definitely to link when you kill the boss for the stage to be accessible into the stage select screen. So we will do that. I think we will also reskin the boss, or maybe not reskin his appearance, although we could, because the thing is, you have to understand, he is currently animated with legs. And like I said, I'm not a visual artist. I am not, even if I tried to save my life, I am never going to be able, well, I don't want to say never, but I am not in 2024 going to magically spawn the talent to draw this robot that he drew. And even if I could draw it, which I could, I would not be able to animate it. I would not be good enough to like, oh, let's create legs that make sense. Then legs, animate his legs. And let's do this, then do that. This is stuff that is that you need. I could learn it, but I have not taken time to learn graphic stuff yet because this is not. This is something. It's like I said. Oh, I want to learn to be a guitarist. Like, okay, well, if you don't have it like right now, it's gonna have to be developed. It's not gonna be like one day to the next. I am now a good guitarist. No. It's a time investment, and I don't have the time investment to learn how to draw right now. But when my game is like fully finished, when I say fully finished, like it is finished. The only thing that's left to do is making the graphics better. Then I will look like release date. Is it still something that it's a good date? Or do I feel like, do I have the jitters? Like, oh, I have cold feet. Do I have like, I feel like I'm very tired and I don't want the game to go out and to be like dismissed. I will work on the graphics so that the game is beloved right off the bat and that nobody complains too much about the graphics. Because people take for granted. They see a game, they take for granted, oh, this must be an indie game, but no, it's not. People right now, they have studios of 50 employees, they have 10 people working animation, and then they say, we are an indie game. No, if you're not alone, you're not an indie game. Even if you're two, you're not really an indie. You're independent means alone. If you're two, you're two people, which is not many people. You still should be a indie category, but I'm just saying technically you're not even indie if you're working with someone. So in the optic of really being an indie, which is all alone, independent, I don't have a time frame to learn to draw right now. Anyway, I'm just saying this to fill time as he paints. At least I'm talking about painting, you know. So I'm almost done though. You see the boss room is progressing well. I need to finish this pit and then I think we'll be at a good place where, aside from repainting the brown ground later, There will be no more boring painting part. There you go. Isn't that satisfying? Now we see that we finish what we started, which is every single pit is coherent with one another. It has a backdrop that says, oh, this is not like emptiness. This is, you're inside of the earth. There's a structure behind you. It's like a fake 3D. This is perfect. But now I'm going to put some decorum just because I'm like, I will want some of paler brown things, and then we will add the one-way platforms to them. But right now I'm just like putting some decorum because I feel like I'm a bit too bland. I do know that I will redecorate, but I still want to start right now a little bit. Even though the player will probably not go there, I still put some things there. So if you look from far away, it does not look lazy. You put some time into designing your world. Oh, I noticed just now there was a darker variant also. So we need to use the variants to create impression of deepness. So I'm gonna put the one-way platform later. Right now I just wanted to see something. I'm not sure what it was. Bam. Okay, we see. Oh yes, I fixed this. I put this on a proper layer. So now the parallax is no longer hiding our wonderful, totally well cut transparent image. And we can see also that this turret is very annoying, but for the good reason, because we don't want really the player to go there. We want, well, he will, because curiosity is a thing, but then he will notice, oh, there's nothing I can do. You could damage boost, but you won't make it far. So you will only come back here with the shield later on. So we continue. Sorry. You see here I did not put the walkable layer yet, so this is very frustrating. Like, oh, fake background. Fake background is like fake news. Nobody wants that. So there I go. Everything works there. Like I said, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I was just looking how it looks, and it looks a lot better. I could do something with the bottom, and I should make just keep the ground going so that you have the impression of the world keeps going down and that you're not on a floating island, you know. Otherwise, for when it comes to the backdrop like this, it's fine. However, it's siding a bit too high of the parallax layer, so I will in a few minutes trim it from like 1 or 2 blocks just so that we see a bit better. Right now I'm looking the limits of the player collider, because you see this is fine, this is not a problem. This is just our collider that we're living on the edge, boys. So I will go into the scene to look at the player, just because I'm curious, and then we see in action the scene. This is so nice. You see all the monsters that are patrolling on the rails. You see the jumping things, the patrolling turrets. This is so nice that we see everything in action like that, and we see the boss patrolling with his collider player detector. I mean that he detects the player when he touches that, and he shoots at him. So yeah, but now I'm gonna zoom on the player, because before being distracted by all of this beauty, all of this engineering that's in play, I wanted to look at the hitbox of the player just to see how close is this thing. So right now I'm done talking about the boss, and we're gonna see that. And you see, it's not as close as I thought, but it's very close. It's very close. I thought it was even closer than that, but it's very close. But we're not taking damage from this. So you have to imagine that our leg is like not actually physically in the way. It's like right behind our heel, like very close. Sorry. So okay. Now I'm not gonna bother. I'm not killing the boss for fun. I just want to see something. Sorry, damn, medication is very hard to. It makes me yawn all the time. I'm not even tired. It's just my jaw goes off. It goes off yawning. Sorry. So I beat the boss, and I'm gonna jump in the hole just to see if it breaks the game, because I like to test stuff. So I shoot a bullet. Right now, please. But now he's dying. Now it's queuing the loading animation, but I touched the thing that kills me. Trust me, I heard the sound of me touching the floor spikes. The collider, but it does not break the game. It still leads to, oh, we're trying to load the stage section, but your stage doesn't exist. So yeah, so it's fine. Now I'm cutting like this, but I'm not gonna be happy with the result. I'm gonna be happier with putting it straight, so no too little things on the side. Okay, I'm just telling you guys in advance. It will look better when we trim the top part that I'm leaving there. I thought, oh, maybe it would look like roundish, like it makes the hole feel more roundish, but no, it does not. It feels very Minecrafty blocks. So no. So now I'm just gonna finish what I started, because this episode is nearly finished, but there's a few details like this that I sadly must do, because I don't want to carry them over the next episode. So for the next of this episode, I'm basically just gonna fix the appearance of the holes, put some little steppable layers there, and then I'm gonna repaint the inside of the brown walls so that they don't look like a lot of big boxes, so that they look like a more organic ground. There's basically nothing else going on in the rest of this episode, so if you're very bored out of your mind, you can just skip to the end, and thank you very much. Otherwise, the rest of us will painfully stay till the end of this way too long episode. The thing is that when I do the voice, when I do in French, there is the sound of the game, so there is some things entertaining you. In English, I got the sound off, so you never hear anything but my voice and my cold and my so yeah, I'm sorry guys. Also, I apologize a lot, because I'm a Canadian and that must be annoying too. So then I'm like, oh, still in the uptick of changing, making the visuals better. I'm like, okay, we could put some ground like that, but nah, I'm just gonna do it here, because here we have an energy tank and it's floating like it's hovering. So let's say these are magnetic thingies that justify this being like kept. Please keep at room temperature, but for the energy tank is please keep in a levitating state or whatever. Please keep magnetized or whatever this is. And you do need to paint behind the breakable blocks, because when you break them, it will expose what's behind. So it's why I'm painting also behind the blocks, not to expose anything when we break them. So now that I'm satisfied with the floor being like this, I think this is now that I will start this is where I will paint the brown stuff. Yep. We're painting brown. Oh yeah, but before I'm just gonna do before the most boring part, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna, every part that we can step on, I want this like to be consistently wide. So everywhere that there is more than one brown tile, I want the walkable floor to look like this. So it will make the place look less natural. So this is less a big pile of rocks and more actually we organize the floor here. Yes, and now my OCD self is really going nuts over what pixel to stop, and my mouse is going nuts because it's too not zoom enough. But so not sure if I'm done with the floor, but I'm gonna do right this what I'm doing now to make the thing look more united. So like I said, I'm gonna do painting for the rest, guys. Just fix this and do a lot of mistakes because my mouse arm is getting pretty lame at this point. But look, it's why I just play stuff and I correct at the end, because look how it's easy it is to fix at the end. You already establish what is solid, what is not. Oh, the entrance. You need to do that to figure out the entrances, right? Like, oh, it's going to be an entrance there and there. And once all that is put down, then you can paint like this. Then you should, repair stuff. Then I notice, oh, I need to put more of these to be more consistent. And small details like that we go through at the end, that will unify the stage and make it look a lot better than it would be if we did not care and just leave it like it was. But I do care. It's why I make an effort, even though it makes the episode longer. What's important is also the final result, because then episode 3, the thumbnail, will have a disappearance in it. So if I don't make this look good, the episode will look like crap. So if I put a lot of effort on the first episode like this, it will look better for the rest of the short series. So I'm just putting in the effort. Just basically putting in the effort as I always do. So I continue painting some brown on the walls. So very soon we will have reached a state where we will be happy and we will no longer have to paint brown ever again. So I think this is the last section of the floor that I need to fix, and after that will only be the 2 last chunks of brown to fix visually. I'm pretty sure this episode will be over. We made quite some progress. I know that the episode is too long, but consider the progress that we went from a template stage. We had nothing. We pressed start. We were falling into a pit. Now we added the floor. We added the parallax to see city far away. We added mountains, cavern. We added rails with enemies, with different types of enemies. We added weapons, durations, secret passages. Even a boss. There's a lot of things. We did a lot of things in this episode. We don't have to feel bad for it being long. And look, now there's only this last section to paint and it's all over, guys. So I think this is a good first building episode. Like I said, in the next episode, we will connect, because before we will connect for a stage to be usable from the title section screen. So we'll face the choice: do we want to take out the stages that we made, or do we want to add new stages? So there, you would probably want to keep his stages and add more, because his stages are nice. But if you intend to remake the entire game, then you can simply use the slots of his stages and replace with yours. So instead of creating new stages and redoing the interface to add more levels, we can simply take this stage, drag and drop it into the slot that is regular stage 1, and it's already usable like this. And I think we're gonna do that because I said that it was gonna be a short series, so I'm not gonna do 8 stages and then adjust the UI to add stages. No, it's gonna be a small series. We're gonna reuse what's existing already, just like we're using the assets, which are looking very nice. These ones, when you look from close, at least from my point of view, on my 4K screen, they look so good. So now I take a screenshot for the thumbnail. So this is the screenshot from the thumbnail. I put that you see the guy falling, because I wanted just to differentiate the thumbnails one from another. It was like a last minute thought, because at this point I'm thinking about, okay, I will need to now edit the video to remove some of the sneezing and stuff, and then adjust the audio levels, and then put the thumbnail into the intro. So now I'm seeing, you see I let the little square. I think they're very ugly. I will remove them right after this. I think he's gonna notice this right now. Yeah, it's look at this. This is not the effect that I wanted when I thought, oh, I'll put this there. So I'm just gonna remove the little 2 things there, and it's gonna look fine, very much fine. So I'm not gonna kill the boss because I know that the scene is not linked. This is pointless. I'm just gonna go finish this. And now I clean the little detail that's left, and the episode is over for real. So background, we're gonna fix that. It does not look good. Now it looks perfect. Same with here. Now it looks perfect. And right here, I'm like, you know what? Who cares? Let's be done. This is all fine and dandy. We have done the maximum that we could have in one episode. So in the next episode, it will be shorter and will be less painting and stuff. We will just go into important stuff, linking the scene, then adding more stuff and making the stage go deeper or whatnot, or another stage. But no, I don't want to waste people time painting. I think we will just push with one stage with a very much bigger stage until the end. If you like the content, please do subscribe so we'll get to the next YouTube step soon. Thank you.